Hello, muckers. Welcome back to the Wendy Williams Show. So, this is episode 2, I think, of Ask Adam, which is. I kind of explained this, but I'm going to do this for the first couple of episodes explaining what is going on here. So, if you're aware, we do a little series on this channel called Am I the A-Hole, in which people say things about their lives, we read it, and we figure out whether or not they are the A-Holes, the problems, or whatever. And I've been loving doing that. I think we're on 16 or 17 of that. And I always watched the Wendy Williams Show, and there was a segment called Ask Wendy, where her audience members would ask Wendy for advice or things that are going on in their life. What would she do? And I just always loved watching it. And obviously, the Wendy Williams Show is no more. So I'm kind of creating these to live like my fantasy of they still exist. So my mods have sent me like 5 of them, and then if we still have time, we are going to go into the trenches ourselves and look for them. If you want to be a part of this conversation, come join our Discord, which will be pinned down below. And there is different sections. Am I the A-Hole? There is Ask Adam, and you can do your own thing. So let's get into it. Okay. So the first one. So these were sent to me by my mods, so I assume they're going to be juicy. Hi, Adam. So the question is, should I give up on my dad? Oi. My parents split up when I was 2, and I grew up with my mum and my dad of my siblings. I never really felt like I was a part of their family. Wait. My parents split up whenever I was 2, and I grew up with my mum and the dad of my siblings. Oh, I read that wrong. Okay. So this person from the time they were 2 grew up with their mum and then the dad of their siblings. Okay. I'm up to speed. I never really felt like a part of their family, and when I found out that I had a different dad, that explained everything. When I was around 12 years old, I had a bit of contact with my dad for the first time. I saw him once a month on a Sunday. That lasted about 8 months until I asked to see him more, and my dad's wife refused. Okay. I didn't see my dad from then on. Not only that, but all of his social medias at the time disappeared, and I had no way of contacting him. I always wanted to have a relationship with my dad and would try and find him every couple of years. The year is now 2023, and through a Facebook link from 2009, I found him. It took me about a month to get in contact, but he seemed so excited to be able to speak to me again, telling me he'd hoped that I would have reached out. Now, he always had contact with my mum to pay her, a measly bit of money each month, but he never bothered with me in that decade. Not a Christmas present, not a card on my birthday, not for my 16th, 18th, and not even for my 21st. Since getting in contact with my dad, he's not bothered reaching out to me. I've tried twice, once to try and spark conversation, and once to let him know that I had not only moved out of my mom's house, but I'd also gotten engaged. Despite having big news like that, he didn't really seem to care. The conversation fizzled out within 5 months. Or 5 minutes, sorry. That was about 2 months ago. In the 7 months he's been able to contact me, he's not reached out once. I already know my stepdad will be walking me down the aisle when I get married. My dad certainly won't get that honor, but I don't know whether or not I should stop trying to have a relationship with him. It's not like he's ever tried to have one with me. I'm almost 22, and he's barely bothered, especially in the last decade. Should I give up on my dad? Okay, so you're saying from the time that you're 2 until you're 22, so 20 years, you have not had any interactions with your father that have been initiated from him. And you often say that, it takes you years to find him because he goes mute on social media. And then once you find him, he doesn't reach out. Here's the thing. This is a harsh reality. You're also saying that he is in contact with your mom, sending her money. As in, your mom has contact with him. Obviously, there's a reason she's not setting anything up there. But there's also him not reaching out while having contact with your mom. I mean, this one is just... This one's just a really fucking upsetting one. And I know you're saying that you don't feel a part of, the family that you grew up in, with your mom and then the dad of your siblings, having a different dad. And first of all, you said that you're almost 22 and that you're now engaged and stuff. And one thing I want to say to you as well is, live your life, find new family, find people that will do what your dad does not want to do, because you do deserve that. And you have so much excitement going on in your life that you shouldn't feel the need to explain why your life is exciting right now to people, rather than them being excited for you and wanting to be a part of that. If you were to fully reconnect with your dad, both of you wouldn't recognize each other anymore. And as hard as it sounds, you really deserve better. And I'm obviously never going to make a decision for you. I know you're, just asking for advice and stuff. But when you're saying, should I give up on my dad? I think the decision has already been made. And I think that you also know what the decision is. And I'm kind of flipping this back on you. You're opening up about he's not reaching out. He doesn't care. I think you know yourself. And I'm like this as well. Whenever I want someone else to just like push me to make the decision, I'm never going to do that for you. But I think you've made up your own mind. And I think you know that you deserve a shit ton better. And I'm sending you so much love and happy engagement. And I think that, I think you know you deserve better as well. And it's just a very fucking unfortunate one. And I'm really sorry to hear that. Okay, next one is from Minky. So Minky said, I've been a people pleaser my whole life. And recently through therapy, I've learned the importance of setting boundaries. Oof. It's like a little moth. Do you have any advice for setting boundaries with people you might have let get away with things in the past? Well, Minky, this is something I'm dealing with right now. And this is not anything to do with the Colleen thing. This is something that I've been dealing with personally. And if my mom's still watching, she knows exactly what I am talking about. And I'm going to give you advice from the living heart about setting boundaries. It is not worth staying friends with someone because they're pressuring you, or they're scaring you, or they're using you, or they're abusing you verbally or anything. You know what I mean? When you're saying, when I would have let them get away with things in the past, but I don't want to do that moving forward. You start to internalize that. It starts to affect you. Who you surround yourself with is very fucking important. So when you start to surround yourself with people and allow those kind of people to have so much access to you, it'll start to internalize within you. And it's important to recognize that, realize that it's not your fault, realize that this is not something you want to pursue, and move on. That sounds so harsh, but the reason I'm saying that is because I'm currently like going through that, and like I'm so over it. And just move on. Don't message them. Don't let them in. Don't let them have access to you. They don't deserve access to you. And that is setting a boundary. Now, that's setting a very extreme boundary. Like a very, very, very extreme boundary. Sorry, I missed chat there. Hold on. Oh, thank you, chat. It's important to stop that. Not everyone is entitled to you or to have access to you. And history, by the way, does not mean that you are entitled to allow someone into your life anymore. You do not need to create any more history with them. If you have history with them, they've done things that you don't like. They've done things to use you. They've done things like this. Let go of them. They do not need to be a part of your life. Because the more you surround yourself with them, the more you give these awful people who don't know boundaries more access to use and abuse you in whatever way. Don't let them in. Don't continue to let them in. You cannot let them in and still see them on the street and they come up to you and you have a conversation. That is not letting them in. Letting them in is them becoming so, you can tell, right? Because I'm passionate about this. You can tell there's a difference between internalizing and allowing them to come into your life and them staying in your life versus walking down the street, them saying hello to you, you saying hello, and having a brief conversation. That's not allowing someone into your life. That's being nice. So just let them go. They don't need to be a part of your life, and you don't also have to hold on to them because you've had a history with them. That is not how it works. That is not how it should work. Sorry, I'm very passionate about this one. Anyways. Next one. I'm loading up the next one. Wait. I was going to say all right, but which one is it? Oh, it's this one. From Court. Okay, are my mods just choosing the mods ones? You know what? I'm going to go through these myself. After this, I'm going to find one on my own. Not the mods favoritizing the mods. That's crazy. Hi, Adam. Hi, Corey. My BF is from about 4,500 kilometers away from where we currently live, and we've been considering moving to his hometown, more opportunities for work, buying a home, etc. I would love to experience living in a new place in a different country, but leaving behind my family is a scary thought. Do you have any advice or pros or cons of moving away from your family and very home? All right. Do it. Do it. Rip the band-aid. Do it. You will not know how you will act in that situation until you're there, but you should try it. I think that there's something so liberating about not knowing what is going to happen. And you've already acknowledged that there's more opportunities for work, buying a home, etc. Here's how it could go. You could move and miss home so much that you move back. That's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is you move, you get the best job, you buy the best home, and you are where you're supposed to be, and you live the best life. That's the best case scenario, but the worst case scenario is you move and you move back home. That's it. So the possibility of the best case scenario, in my opinion, outweighs the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario isn't that bad. You just move back home. I really, really, really am always going to be pro traveling, pro moving, pro whatever. I think it just liberates your life and expands your life so much. And I think the more people you meet, all these different things, worst case is you don't do it and you regret it. And the best case is they'll be the greatest thing you ever happened to you. So that's my advice. Honestly, do it. I don't know if that was bad advice, but it's genuinely what I think. All right, let's do the next one. Let me see. What other mod have they wrote? Oh, it's not a mod. Okay, it was this one. Hi, Adam. How to be comfortable when I'm alone? Sometimes when I'm tired, I want to go out, but my friends are not really social. I'm not blaming them. It's just that I can't seem to stay alone with my thoughts without other people being around. Thank you. Okay, so what are you asking here? You're saying how to be comfortable whenever I'm alone. I think one thing that's really interesting is the art of rediscovering hobbies. I think as a world, we have almost normalized not having time for hobbies, but we spend so much time on our own, or so much time just in our room or something, right? And this was a conversation me and my friends had a while ago, where it was like, my friend was talking about her hobbies, and she was talking about, it was my friend from home, I love her, she was knitting and stuff, right? And she was like, knitting and reading is just like my go-to. She was like, that for me is, because she was talking about liking spending so much time alone. And I was like, oh my God, I love spending so much time alone. You know, I live alone, like I spend most of my days out alone. And she was like, oh, so what's your hobbies? And I was like, like, didn't have an answer. Literally didn't have an answer. My hobbies that I would have listed off to her were watching YouTube. And when I said it, I realized how, I need to sneeze again. Hold on. When I said that, I realized how sad that sounded. Someone just told me that they spend so much time alone and their hobbies are knitting and reading. She also said fishing, which was just, I was like, work. And then they asked me what my hobbies are, and I say watching YouTube. And then I'm like, no wonder I, felt so lonely my first like year and a half of living in Brighton, because anytime that there would be a silence, I would put on a YouTube video. So when I turn that YouTube video off, it's back to silence. Like I was never comfortable within myself, and I didn't have any friends, so I had no one to hang out with. So I started journaling. Now this isn't me saying start journaling, right? Because I can never keep consistent when it comes to journaling. I will journal hard for like a month and then not journal again for another year. So take what I'm saying here and apply it to hobbies. When I started journaling for like 3 months, I journaled every day, and it was silent. I didn't play music. I was silent. It became a little bit of a hobby. I would start doodling as well, and it kind of interests like that. And then I bought canvases, and for like, it literally only lasted like 2 weeks, but I painted. I would paint the sea. I would paint my cats. I would not paint the cats, but like paint drawings of them. And I was really bad at it. But it was me spending time alone, doing something, and still being in silence. And even now I struggle with this. I don't think I have hobbies. I don't. I'm back to square one where I don't have hobbies. My friend said, your hobby should be building Legos. Like, that's a valid thing, doing something. But the thought of doing something like a hobby almost turns me off before I even do it. So this Lego set that I have, which my friend who's in here is going to be building for me. Like, I've had this for... Suha, how long would you say I've had this? Because we bought it together. How long would you say I've had this Lego set for? A year? A year and a half or something like that? Over a year. I've had that for over a year sitting in my bedroom. And I've always wanted to complete it, and I always thought it would be super fun. However, the thought of doing it, I'm like... Ugh. So I stopped myself having hobbies out of fear of not enjoying them, or out of fear of finding it boring, and then don't try anything. I just finished building that. Was it hard, or was it? So I just, for me, like I always used to love knitting with my nana, and then I stopped doing it, and now trying to learn how to knit again to me seems like so much effort, so I don't do it. I really don't have any hobbies. I would love to start knitting again, because I was so fucking content whenever I was knitting, by the way. I was the most content fucker you've ever met whenever I was knitting. Loved it. I was like, minding my own business. And I just would love to discover hobbies. So for you, that is the advice that I'm going to give. But I'm going to be honest with you as well that I still struggle with it. I think I heavily rely on people, and I have my animals, so it's a little bit of a distraction, but it's all about hobbies. And so that would be the advice that I would give you. What hobbies do people have? Quick. Oh my God, he's so comfortable right now. What hobbies do people have? Gaming, walking, coding, jewelry, paintings, YouTube, reading, music making, bracelets, designing, writing, puzzles. Puzzles is a good one. I just don't have the patience. You know what I mean? A lot of it comes to me as when I sit down to do something, I become so aware of the fact that I'm sitting down to do something that I almost don't want to do it. Painting by numbers. Yeah, my mom loves those little painting numbers, or painting books that are like by number. A lot. Okay, yeah. Someone said, does organizing count? Absolutely. Anything counts. So that would be my advice for you. Wow, a lot of people love jigsaws. All right, let's do the next one. So this is the last one that my mods have sent me. So after this, I'm going to jump right in myself and do a couple. Building keyboards, building PCs. Oh, people enjoy the painting by things, making coffee, cleaning projects. Love it. Love it. All right. Let's do the next one. Oh my God, someone said sewing, but I thought they said serving was their hobby. Hey, Adam, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I know there's a lot of people who hate or just don't like furries. As in dogs? Oh, furries. I thought you meant like fur friends, like as in like literally like dogs and stuff. Okay, good night, Mom. My mom's going to bed. Good night. Enjoy tomorrow as much as you can. My mom's going back to work tomorrow. She's very upset. Enjoy tomorrow. Love you, Mom. Good night. Um, oh my God, you mean furries? I thought you were literally talking about like I know there's people that don't like dogs. Okay, let's get into it. That don't like furries because there's a handful of people who are shit people, but most of the fandom is great. I have been in the fandom for I say 6 to 7 years, and I'm planning on buying 2 fursuits. Should I go ahead with it and not give a shit about judgment? I'll get on Instagram because half the people I know don't like it, or should I save my mental health and let him go? Hold on. Let me text my mom right back, and then I am going to answer this one. Messaging her good night. All right. Okay, let me think about this one. Hold on. There we go. Okay, mommy has been let know. Good night. Good night, mommy. All right, let me think about this one. So you're saying that should you go ahead with it and not give a shit about judgment? I think this can be applied to many, many, many things. You know what I mean? I think it can be applied of not doing things out of judgment, out of fear, out of bullying. I think this can apply to a lot of things. And I think that also the point that you're making about a couple people in a community or even a loud minority, right? Ruining it for everyone, ruining reputations and stuff. And again, I have very little knowledge of whenever it comes to furries, for fandoms. I remember I did like an Am I the A-hole or something a while ago where someone was going to like a fur convention or something like that. I remember that. So here's what I'm gonna say. If something makes you happy and you aren't hurting anyone, regardless of what it is, do it. If it makes you happy and you are not hurting anyone, applies to every and anything, go for it. Go for it. You know what I mean? Go for it. As someone who cosplays, go for it. Just go for it, someone said in the chat. Yeah. Someone said it's like cosplay, but unfortunately a lot of people over-sexualized it and made it drama. While I'm not a furry, I do understand the feeling of wanting to dress up and be a different person or thing. About to watch Ratatouille. Oh, I might watch Ratatouille tonight. So here's what I'm saying. If something makes you happy, do it. As long as you're not hurting anyone, do it. You said that you wanted to buy 2 of the fursuits. Go for it. Go for it. Anything that will make you happy and you aren't hurting anyone, I cannot reiterate that enough. This sounds bad that I'm going to say, but like, who cares? I'm not saying who cares about what you're saying. I'm saying if you're doing something that you're passionate about and makes you so happy, and the only thing holding you back is people bullying you or whatever, who cares about them? Who cares? You're not hurting anyone. You're happy. Who cares? So do what makes you happy. Enjoy the conventions if you go to them. Enjoy buying the 2 fursuits that you want. And honestly, just be happy. Do what you want. Stop living for other people. Yeah, that's a great point. All right, so that was the last one that my mod team sent me. So I am going to, I'm going to jump in and find ones myself. I'm going to do that right now. I don't know if they've sent any other ones. I don't think they have. Okay, so let me jump into Ask Adam right now on Discord. And let's see. Again, I don't vet these before I read them, so I'm a little bit nervous. But I do think that if they're really out there, that they would have been deleted. All right. Okay. Again, have really, really, really just like grazed over this one. So this is this one. Adam, my 19 female, boyfriend 19 male, has a daughter 3 female. Whoa. Sorry. That literally just like shocked me. Whoa. Listen. Everyone's life goes in different paths. as long as them and the daughter is happy, good for them. But oh my God, like a 3-year-old at 19, and I think about like what I've done, it makes me feel like, oh my God, I've like done nothing. You know what I mean? But as long as the daughter's happy and as long as everyone is safe and healthy, who am I to say anything? And also some of my best friends were raised by teen parents as well. So everyone's life is completely different. Um, so, this person's boyfriend has a daughter. His daughter and I get along great, and she's beginning to see me as a part of the family. Due to him having a child, we've decided to be serious from the start, and I've talked about eventually getting married in a few years. The thing is, we're both in college right now, so his daughter has to stay with her mom, which is his ex, most of the time. His ex works a ton at a low-paying job since she dropped out of high school and lives with her sister in a non-very kid-friendly living situation. My BF has been stressed about being able to provide for his daughter while finishing school, and I told him, since I'm graduating early, I could help provide for her financially so she can be in a better situation. He refuses to accept my offer for future help, but I told him that if he's serious about our relationship like he says he is, then he needs to accept that I'm going to love and care for his daughter, even if she isn't my own. I know the choice is ultimately up to him, but I hate to see him stressed over this and I want to help. Any advice? The girls have woken up and they're currently about to fight over a chicken wing. Okay. So what are you asking? So your boyfriend is refusing to accept that you want to financially support his daughter. And you're saying that, well, if you're serious about our relationship, then allow me to do this because she's also, like under my care. Listen, the priority here is making sure that the daughter is safe and loved and cared for. Whoever is doing that. One thing I will say that comes into question is someone has just said this. For me personally, how long have you been together? I think things like that are important. I mean, talking about marriage at 19 because he has a daughter is, changing your life a lot, for him. And I know that it was very, very, very normal to get married very young in the past. And I know people still get married young now. I just think that, like, for me, whenever I think about, I'm so not in that mind state. And I know that a lot of people are. I just wouldn't rush into making huge life decisions based on your boyfriend having a daughter. If you haven't been together for, a long period of time or something like that. And also people in chat are saying that this seems to be a boundary for him, and maybe there is something deeper with his relationship with his ex where, maybe she doesn't want you to be involved or something. And again, it just kind of seems that this one is... Someone's saying, just have an open conversation with him and allow him a space to express himself. A lot of people are saying that he's setting a boundary with you, like his daughter is, his control, doesn't want you to necessarily be involved. And I think that that's also, important to note where it's like, does he not want you to be involved with the daughter? But then if you're like talking about marriage, but then he doesn't want you to be involved with the daughter. For me, the ultimate thing here is just how long have you been in this relationship and how serious is the relationship? Just having open dialogue, I think is very important. I think answers most things in life. Just have an honest conversation with him, talk with him, figure out where he's at, tell him where you're at, reiterate what you're saying about, like, if you're serious about the relationship, I need to be involved in your daughter's life. That's also like, hold on, let me read this comment. I need to pull up my Twitch. It's not a zero-sum situation. It's not, can Twitch stop fucking moving? It's not if you don't allow me to support your daughter financially, you aren't serious about the relationship. There are a lot of reasons a person might not want to be, intertwined with another person, especially someone who already is a child from a different situation. I mean, also something to note. You know what? For me, I'm going to say that just have an open conversation. And I'm going to leave it there. And that I think will, allow everyone involved to feel a little bit of clearance in the air. And we're going to leave it at that for this episode, for part 2. We're going to leave it there. If you want to be involved in this, come join the Discord and you'll see the Ask Adam section. Write your own. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my next one, and goodbye.